Okay then, so this is a little episode that I decided to make because I recently, my news feed knows I like movie news, and they were talking about Zack Snyder running his mouth trying to damage control the shitty movies that he made for Warner Brothers under the DC label, and basically this is just me talking about five lessons that WB needs to learn from the DCEU, and then 5 ways to fix the DC cinematic universe and their film division before they run it completely into the ground, even though it's kind of already there. So let's get into it quickly after the cut. So this is just going to be me talking about how they need to get the right people for the right job, and, well, I think this is going to be really fucking fun. Basically, right now, I'm going to give you the perfect example of this. Zack Snyder. No, not Zack Snyder. Jason Momoa. Now, Jason Momoa is not one of my favorite actors. I've watched him in TV for years. He was Ronan Dax in Stargate Atlantis, which was a nice show, but I didn't like his character because Jason Momoa plays the same character in every fucking movie or TV show he's in. You know, gruff, white guy actor. I know he's Hawaiian, but dude looks white to me. So, he plays the same role in every fucking movie he's in, and that's just fucking, I like actors who have a range of emotions, and he plays the same character in everything. So right now, he's Aquaman in the next movie that's coming out, which probably isn't going to be very good, but he's Aquaman. Now, I'm going to show you my problem with that right about now. So, this is Jason Momoa. I guess he's a handsome-looking dude. This is Aquaman. Okay? Kind of edgy Aquaman. This is classic Aquaman. Okay? Classic Aquaman. And this is the Aquaman they're trying to push now that Jason Momoa is Aquaman. Doesn't really look like Aquaman, but fuck that. Once again, this is Jason Momoa. Yeah, Jason Momoa. Fucker. Cockeyed son of a bitch. This is edgy Aquaman they tried to do in the early 2000s. Once again, this is classic Aquaman. Okay? And now we're back to, Jason Momoa man. It's not Aquaman. Now, for comparison, this is Jason Momoa. Now, here's who Jason Momoa really fucking looks like to me. This is Lobo. He's a badass space bounty hunter who's ultra violent, ultra macho, and talks lots of shit. Kind of like this guy. Once again, this is who Jason Momoa should be playing. Okay? Now, as you can see, there's a problem with casting here. So, basically, what I'm saying is this. You gotta find the right people for the right job. And they've already started fucking up. So with that being said, let's move on to the second, to the fourth lesson, which is kind of related to the first one. So basically, here's the next one. Why would you get and it's titled, lesson 4 is, why would you get someone who has no sense of taste to be your head chef? Now, what I mean by this is, if you're going to make a movie about comic books, could you get somebody who actually understands, or at least is familiar with, the characters? I'm not saying they have to like it. I'm just saying they have to be familiar with it. Because, I'm not going to put the whole interview in here where Zack Snyder's like, well, Superman's broken. Some of the best stories that I've ever seen in, the animated series of Superman, some of the best DC stories I've ever read have Superman in them. So if you have the temerity to say Superman is a boring character and Superman is broken, and you've never fucking read a good Superman story, which there are good Superman stories, that's on your ass. That's not because Superman sucks. You're just you just don't understand the material. It's not my fucking problem that you don't understand the character. Sorry. It's your problem. So basically, this was a problem that Warner Brothers has had. David Goyer wrote the script for Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, and those movies suck. I mean, the characterization, the whole Martha. I mean, you cannot tell me, even if you like those movies, that that's good script writing, because it isn't. So with that being said, let's move on to the lesson number 3. So we're on to lesson 3. One of the problems that I saw in the DCEU is that as soon as one movie came out, they were already working on the next one, which is fine when the formula for one movie works really well, but this was not the case in the DCEU. Like, literally, shit got worse. Like, Man of Steel was not good, in my opinion, at all. Like, period. It was not a good film. And it got fucking worse in Batman v Superman. Like, it was amazing. Like, the gratuitous violence for no reason, the shoddy script writing, the fucking nonsensical character behaviors of these characters. It's just the shitty, really convenient plot holes, or when there weren't plot holes, just total complete ignore that plot thread that goes nowhere. There really should have been like a 2-year gap between these films. And I don't mean 2 years when they come out. I mean 2 years when, like, maybe like the movie comes out and then there's like a 6 to 9 month period where they're just getting feedback from people who watch these fucking movies, and then maybe they readjust. Cause I mean, we can agree. People are like, well, Justice League was a bad movie, and it was, but I mean, let's keep it real. Batman v Superman was shit too. So was Man of Steel. I mean, and Suicide Squad wasn't any better. So 3 films put in the Zack Snyder universe that basically suck. The only film that came out in the Zack Snyder universe was that was kind of under the Zack Snyder auspices of the DCEU was Wonder Woman, and that's because basically Wonder Woman's the most least like the other films in the series, which should tell you something. But so yeah, don't stack your plate too high. Wait, like basically, the way they put out these movies for Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, is literally like you just ate a big meal and then you go to the bathroom and you're over the toilet, and while you're in the toilet you have a plate of food next to you and you're eating while you're shitting out what you ate before. It's like, look, why don't you wait until you get out until you shit out what you ate, let that let your stomach get used to it, and then go eat something. But not in the toilet while you're there. And that's the problem. Lesson number 2 coming up next. Okay, so recently we've been seeing a lot from Zack Snyder where he's like, yeah, well, the symbolism behind this, that, and the other, like he's an auteur director. Look, Zack, you're not an auteur director, okay? You're basically like, Zack Snyder is essentially kind of like a Michael Bay, but a little bit more nuanced. But here's a little kicker for you. That's still not that good, okay? Ultimately, you're the one who was the central architect of this shitty universe. And so, you know what? You have to pay the cost to be the boss. Alright? Like, it's on, the buck ends with you. No one gives a shit about what your plans were, what the symbolism was, what you were going for, because ultimately, you destroyed an entire video game universe. I mean, not a video game universe, a cinematic universe, okay? With your shitty ass, fucking annoying as fuck, shitty ass fucking movies, okay? And so, yeah, I mean, you may have had grander schemes in mind, but you know what? Doesn't fucking matter, because ultimately the buck ends with you. Alright? Now, yes, you may have been under pressure from various executives. You may have been under pressure from various groups, but ultimately, you were the one in the driver's seat, so it's on you. Shut the fuck up, deal with it. You made some shitty movies that wasted billions of potential dollars and devalued one of the oldest comic book franchises in pop culture history. That's on you, dumbass. Okay, don't blame other people. Oh, they were unfair. No, you fucked it up. You deal with it. Okay? So let's move on to lesson number 1 that the DCEU needs to take, that Warner Brothers needs to take from the DCEU. So this is a big one. I don't know why people haven't really talked about it, but basically, here we go. I don't know how much my viewership has heard about, but basically there's been a series, like, one of the reasons that's been pointed to as to why the DC films at Warner Brothers have been so hit and miss and kind of falling apart is because there are these little fiefdoms that are going against each other, that each have their own little thing they want to do. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because a house divided against itself shall not stand. There needs to be one unified vision, okay? Basically, to put a quote into, to basically kind of parse it out, think of it kind of like the movie The Untouchables, right? There's a scene where Al Capone basically is at this dinner table, and he's talking to his other mafia bosses, and he's like, yeah, when the team does well, we all do well. And then he takes a baseball bat and beats the shit out of this one guy because he's been taking cuts underneath the table. Because he's basically like, you know, like, this is about teamwork, and when the team is unified, we all do well. But if one person is selfish, then that fucks up the whole damn team. And he just beats the shit out of this guy with this baseball bat. It's one of the most, it's a very iconic scene. It's been parodied in a lot of films and such. But you get what I'm saying? Like, you cannot have a team where, like, different people on the team are basically doing their own thing. There's no unified vision. It doesn't work that way. And that's what we've been having at DC. You've got people who are like, who still want to have a DC extended universe. You have people who think, okay, well, we want these single films, kind of like a Joker film with this person doing this or this person doing this. We want a Suicide Squad too. Like, you need to have one unified vision where people have their shit together. Okay? Can't be having people, well, I have an idea, my idea does this. Shit needs to be together. It's like, if you want to raise kids, everyone needs to have a unified vision. You can't have one group of people wanting to do one thing, one parent going one way, another parent going the other way, because if you do, that kid's gonna be fucked up. Okay? There's gonna be no unity. And it's like, no one seems to understand that. So this is the number one lesson that they need to learn. Now, with that being said, I'll get to the 5 ways they can fix a lot of these things after the cut, starting from 5 to 1. So here we go with basically the 5 ways to kind of fix the problems that the DCEU is facing and WB is facing with their DC film division. And I'm just saying, you know, we need to get the right people for the right job. So lesson number 5, how to fix it, begins. So here we go with lesson 5 that corresponds with the lesson 5 from the last one, which was find the right person for the right job. Well, lesson 5 is basically, you know, find people that know what the hell they're doing and actually, you know, kind of fit what you're trying to do. And I know what some people are going to say. The counterpoint, well, they got Joss Whedon. Yeah, but, I mean, here's the thing. They had lost. It's kind of like this, right? It's like once people lose confidence in you, like people had given the DC films 3 chances, right? They gave it a chance with Man of Steel, and people were pissed. They gave it a chance with Batman v Superman. People were pissed even more. They gave it a chance with Suicide Squad, and people were still really fucking pissed off. Like, and I can't blame them for being mad because these films suck. they're really, really shitty. I mean, they're really, really, really shitty. Alright? And, I mean, like, Wonder Woman comes out. Wonder Woman isn't a great film, but compared to the other 3 shitty films that came out before, it's a goddamn masterpiece. So, I mean, that's basically what you're dealing with. Like, 3 mediocre films, and then 1 film that's okay, like a little bit better than mediocre. I would say, I would give Man of Steel a D, Batman v Superman an F, and Suicide Squad a D. But if you're making those types of grades and you make a C+, you think you've turned the corner. And that's basically what Wonder Woman is. It's the C+. You've turned the corner, Basically, get people who know what the fuck they're doing. They started by getting the lady who directed Wonder Woman, but they need to get more people who know what the fuck they're doing and who aren't going to be like Zack Snyder. I'm not going to link that video where he's like, yeah, I want a universe where Batman could get raped in jail. Fuck. I mean, that should have been like, yeah, you got to get the fuck out of here. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on to lesson number 4. So this is lesson 4. The negative lesson that they kind of the problem that came up before was them just going with Zack Snyder. And here's the thing: Zack Snyder was under contract and he was there cheaply. Here's the problem: sometimes if you want something done right, you're gonna have to pay out money to get it done right. Don't go with the cheapest motherfucker you can find. Okay? Someone's got quality, go with the best quality you can get. Alright? Not just, oh, well, they're cheap. Okay? So with that being said, I guess we can move on to lesson 3. So this is lesson 3. Basically, lesson 3 and the negative things that occurred that kind of messed up the DCEU was stacking their plate too high. Here's how to fix that. Basically, I alluded to this earlier. Don't just rush into new shit. Take your time, do it right. A house is built a brick at a time. First you lay the foundation, and then you do a brick at a time, brick by brick by brick. You don't just do everything in one fell swoop. Unless you want to have a house that's going to fall down as soon as someone breathes hard on it. So, fix that, okay? Don't fuck up like you did last time. Lesson 2, after the cut. This fiefdom shit has to end. This shit where people are like, well, I have my vision, you have your vision, we all have our own separate visions. Shit needs to be together, alright? Everyone needs to be on the same page, okay? The 3 different groups need to have their little powwow, get their shit together, and choose what they want to do, alright? None of this bullshit where everyone has their own different thing and whatever, okay? Pick a group, and that's the vision. Don't, oh, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. That's it. Just have one unified vision and put someone in charge of the shit. I know they have, not Kevin Sujihara, but the guy who was in charge of, who helped do The Conjuring, but he also has a lot of shit movies under his credits, like 47 Ronin. And if you've seen 47 Ronin, I saw 47 Ronin in the movie theaters. Yeah, I don't have much faith in that guy. Lesson number 1 after the cut. So here's the final one, and it's very, very easy. Basically, we're talking about people who essentially, there needs to be like a buck stops with me type of person. Now, I think once again, I said earlier that James Wan is now supposed to be that guy, but here's the problem with James Wan. the problem with James Wan is that like he doesn't really have that deep of a resume. Now, it's just my own little personal opinion. I know some people will be like, "How dare you, sir?" It's just my personal opinion. All right. And the 47 Ronin is a real red flag for me. I think there's some other shit that he helped create, so I'm not really, exactly, oh my god, this is the guy. That being said, the buck has to end with him. So if he fucks up, it's on him. I don't want to hear, well, this happened, market reactions, blah, blah, blah. Look, you fuck up, it's on you. You're the guy. Okay? So with that being said, that's those are the 5 lessons that they need to take from all of this. Those are them. So I don't want people being like, oh, you know what you're talking about. That's just how I feel. So with that being said, we'll get into the overall conclusion after the. So here we go with the conclusion and upcoming events. So basically, in conclusion, there needs to be a change in the culture at WB. Is this going to happen? Probably not, but I'm just telling you how I feel. So with that being said, leave your comments in the comment section about how you feel about what I said. Do you think what I said is feasible? Do you agree? Do you disagree? If so, why? And if you do agree, if so, why? So with that being said, that's it for that. Let me tell you about upcoming events. Yesterday was BS Busters special Friday the 13th cast, so we will not be having a BS Busters tomorrow, because we did one Friday. However, we will be doing a sci-fi power hour, and some BS bustering may trickle into that. So yeah, and this BS Busters, the primary topic is going to be talking about Saturday morning cartoons that we miss, that haven't really been done lately. So look forward to that, and that's the end of the video. So yeah, I should have some content coming out next week. I'm finally getting to work on Tavern Tales, because I finally re-downloaded the game that has a lot of like D&D type gameplay footage. So look forward to that, and that's it. Peace.